Modica is a city and comune in the province of Ragusa, Sicily, southern Italy. The city is situated in the Hyblaean Mountains. Its architecture has been recognized as providing outstanding testimony to the exuberant genius and final flowering of Baroque art in Europe and, along with other towns in the Val di Noto, is part of UNESCO heritage sites in Italy. History. According to Thucydides, the city was founded in 1360 BC or 1031 BC and was inhabited by the Sicels in the 7th century BC. It was probably a dependency of Syracuse. Modica was occupied by the Romans after the Battle of the Egadi Islands against the Carthaginians in the Punic Wars 241 BC. Together with Syracuse and all of Sicily, Modica became one of the 35 decuman cities of the island and was oppressed by the praetor Verres. It became an independent municipium, and apparently a place of some consequence. The city is also mentioned among the inland towns of the island both by Pliny and Ptolemy, and though its name is not found in the itineraries, it is again mentioned by the geographer of Ravenna. Silius Italicus also includes it in his list of Sicilian cities, and immediately associates it with Netum, with which it was clearly in the same neighborhood. The southeast of Sicily and Modica was rapidly Christianized. In 535, the Byzantine general Belisarius expelled the Ostrogoths and established for Justinian I the government of the East Roman Empire, and the already Greek-speaking population fixed their culture until the Latinization of the Normans in the 11th century. In 845, Modica was captured by the Arabs during the Muslim conquest of Sicily. They refer to the city as Modica. The year after its capture, the Arabs fortified its citadels and it subsequently prospered under their rule. In 1091 the conquest of Modica and the entire Val di Noto ended the long-lasting war of the Normans, led by Roger of Hauteville, against the Arabs. In 1296, Modica became the capital of an important county, which under the Chiaramonte family became a flourishing semi-independent state controlling the whole southern third of the island, with the right of a mint of its own and other privileges. On Assumption Day, the 15th of August 1474, Christians wreaked brutal havoc on the Jewish dwellers of the Cartellone area of Modica, the so-called Strage de la Santa. This episode was the first and most horrible anti-Semitic massacre of Sicilian Israelites. During the evening, a number of Christians slaughtered about 360 innocents, causing a total and fierce devastation in La Giudecca. The incitement that echoed through the streets was, "Hurrah for Mary! Death to the Jews!" Later, the earthquake of 1693 destroyed the entire Val di Noto, and to a slightly lesser extent in Modica. Annexed to Italy in 1860, Modica remained district capital until 1926, when it was included in the province of Ragusa. Main sites. Modica consists of two urban centers, Modica Alta and Modica Bassa. The older upper part is perched on the rocky top of the southern Ibelli Hill, the lower part is built on the lower slopes and valley below. The walk down from Modica Alta to Modica Bassa reveals vistas of the lower town and involves many steps. Not many attempt the reverse journey on foot. During the last century the city has extended and developed new suburbs which include Sacro Cuore, Monserrato, Idria. These are often referred to as modern Modica. Both old and modern quarters of the city are today joined by one of Europe's higher bridge, the Guerrieri Bridge, 300 meters long. Despite being ravaged by earthquakes in 1613 and 1693, and floods in 1833 and 1902, Modica has retained some of the most beautiful architecture in Sicily. Much of the city was rebuilt after the 1693 earthquake with imposing and conspicuous urban monuments in the Sicilian Baroque style. The large Baroque cathedral, San Giorgio, is dedicated to St. George. While the cathedral was rebuilt following the earthquake of 1693, like many other parts of the city its roots are in the Middle Ages. From the front of the cathedral, a staircase of 300 steps leads down towards Modica Bassa. Another notable church is San Pietro, dedicated to Saint Peter, in Modica Bassa, featuring a principal facade crowned by a typical Sicilian Baroque bell tower, 49 meters high. Other sites include Castello dei Conti, Chiesa del Carmine, Church of St. Mary of Bethlehem, Garibaldi Theatre. Mercedari Palace contains a museum and library. Economy. The economy of the area, once principally agricultural, producing olives, carobs, legumes, cereals, and cattle. An extraordinary and unique product is the famous chocolate of Modica, produced with an ancient and original Aztec recipe. The city has now been joined by factories producing textiles, furniture and cars. Tourism is also an important industry to the area, since Modica entered the UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2002. Culture. The 18th century saw Modica in the role of art and culture town, counting philosophers, poets, a school of medicine and literary academies among its inhabitants. In the 19th century, feudalism was abolished and Modica became a bourgeois town peopled by notables such as the writer and anthropologist Serafino Amabile Guastella, the agronomist Clemente Grimaldi, the musician Pietro Floridia, and many painters, historians and other intellectuals. Modica was also the birthplace of writer Salvatore Quasimodo, recipient of the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1959.